Hello everyone, today we're going to make a winter scene using the app Explain Everything. Explain Everything is the big blue tile with the funny loopy E. So I'm going to open it up, and when I get in I'm going to go up to New, and I'm going to go to Project, and I want to use a blank canvas to start off with. This should take me into my page to start creating my picture on Explain Everything. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start doing my background. Now, this is my toolbar here. I've got lots of different things. First one I want to use is this one here, which is my fill. So if I click on that, it opens up my colours. If I ever want to see any more colours, I just click on one of the colours, hold it down, press plus, and I'm looking for something like a dark blue, a very sort of nighty colour. So I can drag this makes the palette a little darker. Put it this way, it makes it lighter, so I'm looking for something not quite about here, and I'm going to press done. And then once I've done that, if I click on my screen, my background comes completely dark blue. I also want to add in the ground, so for this what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my shapes. So again, I'm going to choose colours, and I can choose my border and my fill. So what I'm looking for here is a dark green, because I want my ground. So I'm going to just drag this down, press done here. So what I've done is I've created the inside is now green. I'm going to go to border, and I want that to be the same colour. Then I'm going to go up to my shapes, make sure I've selected a square, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a big square like so, and if I click on that I can make it a little bigger, make it a little wider, and just drag it down in the position that I want it to go in. So now I want to create a northern light effect. So again, if I go over to my toolbar, I was looking for my pencil option, which is right here. So if I click on this, you can see here at the side I've got three options. This is pen, this is pencil, and this is a highlighter. So right now what I want is the pencil. There's a couple of things I want to choose first. I want to make sure, you can see here I've got different thicknesses of pencil. I want to have the thickest sort of pencil, and I want to have quite a thick line when I'm drawing. So I'm now going to go down to my colour palette. So the Northern Lights can be lots of different colours. So what I want to do is I want to have a sort of green effect going into yellow. So I'm going to choose a rather bright green, press done, make sure I've got that, and I'm going to do a wavy line in the corner here, and just draw some wavy lines just on top of each other like this. I'm going to go back to my colours, go back to my colour palette, press my plus, and now what I want to do is I want to choose a green that's not sort of changing between green and yellow. Press done, and make sure I've selected it, and then on top of that, the thick green lines, I'm going to just follow these wavy lines and make this one a bit bigger, and then I'm going to go back to my palette, and I'm going to choose a more yellow now, so it's quite yellow, so it's sort of changing in shade as it goes up. I'm happy with that. Then what I'd like to do is I want to add just a little bit of pink, so I'm going to choose my pink. Click on this so this toolbar disappears, and I'm going to draw some pinky lines sort of shooting up, just to give it that effect of the Northern Lights. Now, I'm happy with that. What I want to do is manipulate that a little bit. So I'm going to click on my finger, and I'm now able to move this. So what I want to do is make this a lot bigger, like so, just have it up here in my corner. I'm going to go back to my pencil. I'm going to add a bit more pink in here into some of these gaps here, so that northern light effect up here. Okay, so next what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a Christmas tree. So if we go back to my toolbars here, I am looking for the shape again. I'm going to click on the shape. I'm going to go up to see here and make sure that I've chosen my triangle. Now I want to make sure that the border is a lighter green than the ground, so I'll choose this green here. And the fill, that's the inside of it, is the exact same green. So I've now got green on green. So if I am to draw a triangle, it would look like this. So I'm going to do my first triangle. I'm going to click on the shape tool again. And I'm going to draw a second triangle, it's just slightly bigger. And place it over the top of my first triangle. Shape it like that. And then I'm going to get a third triangle. I'm going to do it like this. I can click on it like you see here, and I can see the dots, and I can make this triangle slightly bigger, I can make it slightly smaller. I'm going to do one final triangle. There's quite a big one here, and I'll make this a little bigger, a little wider. So I now have my triangle here. Now you'll notice that I have all these dark lines which are in here which don't look the best, it doesn't look very tree-like. So I'm going to go up to my pencil tool and I'm going to click on the pen. So I'll choose quite a thick line for this one. And then what I'm going to do is go on the inside, and wherever I can see these lines, I am going to just colour over the top of them so that I do not see them anymore. Okay, I'm happy with that. Now, if I click on this finger tool, make sure the plus is not next to it, and I go to my tree, you can see now that I can move this tree around. I'm almost happy with that. What I want to do is go back to my shapes, go and choose, make a darker colour. I want to create a dark brown, something along those lines, done. And I'm going to do the same for the border, the fill, done, border, add the same colour, and make sure I've got a square, and I'm going to add just a little stump here, and then I'm going to click on this stump. I'm going to click on this, it looks like a little square on top of a square next to the round circles, and I'm going to press send to back so that it now is behind the tree. And if I click on that hand, so the little plus appears next to it, and I just drag a box over that, then I press the square on square again, and I'm looking for group. I press that, and I have to make sure that I click off of that so that the little square disappears next to the hand, so it's just a hand on its own. And I click that, so what I've got now is I have a tree. You might notice that when I've done that, the tree stump is behind my big square here. So what I'm going to do is just click on that and press bring to front. So now, when I move it around, I can see that it's in front of this big square, and I now have my tree. So what I want is I want quite a few of these trees. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little forest. So to do that, I'm going to place my first tree, and then I'm going to go up to the three dots, click on it, and press duplicate 1, 2, 3 times. So what I've got are 3 more trees. I'm going to position them, and the sort of background here makes them a little bit smaller, so they're in the background a bit more. And then what I'm going to do is duplicate this a few more times, and I'm going to create a forest. So now what I'd like to do is add a little more detail to some of these trees. So what I'm going to do is go back to my pencil tool, and this time I want to make sure that I'm choosing the highlighter. I want to choose quite a thick highlighter, and I want to choose a dark colour brown. And what I'm going to do is, starting at the back, just sort of add a few sort of dots into my tree just to give it a little bit of detail. And I'm going to just do the same with my other trees. Just add in Next, what I want to do is add a little detail into the ground around about the tree stumps. So for this, I want to go back to my pencil, and I want to use the same colour as my ground, but because I've used the colour quite a few times, you can see here that it doesn't have the exact shade of green. So what I can do is click on the colour, click on the plus, and then go to this little dropper sign, which is directly under here, this one here. And if I click on the colour that I want to use, which is this one, and press done, it now has memorised that colour. So now what I'm going to do is go to the tree stumps and just sort of blend the tree stumps into the ground around about it, so it doesn't look so much like a shape that's been drawn. So just next I'm going to add some stars. So I'm going to go back to my pencil tool, make sure I've chosen the pencil. This time I want to use a yellow colour, and I'm going to start off with quite a small pen. I'm going to just do some very small dots in the background of my sky. Then I'm going to choose a slightly bigger dot, this one here, and I'm going to do, just clicking on the board, just make some slightly bigger stars. And then again, go back, I'm going to choose a slightly bigger dot this time, and then just not as many of these, and then just add a few more of these bigger dots into my night sky. Okay. This time I'm going to go to my plus button, which is above the hand. I'm going to go to clip art, and in the search bar I'm going to type in star, and you'll see here I get two options. The one I want is the 3 stars next to each other, and if I click on that, what you'll see is that these stars get added into the board. So I want to add just a couple of these stars here over in the background, and if I wanted to, I can click on those 3 stars and duplicate them, and do that twice, and then I'm going to position some more stars, and I can either make these stars bigger by pinching and dragging them. So I'm going to make these ones a little bit smaller in the foreground, and just add them so that I have collection of stars of different sizes. Yeah, these are a little small. So, there we go. Turn them around. So that I am happy with that. Now that I'm happy with that, I'm happy with my final image, I want to have a copy of this without all my toolbars. So what I'm going to do is to take a screenshot, click on the shot that I've just taken, and then I'm going to drag this square round so that I'm cutting out all the toolbars that I can see in my Explain Everything. I'm going to press done, save that to my photos, so that now when I go to my photographs, what I have here is a copy of my night picture, which you will have